Oh, shit. Was I talking that whole time with my microphone turned off? That's awesome. No wonder why people left. Alright, cool. Whatever. We'll see what happens. It says I've got good stream health, so I don't... If it starts messing up again, we'll just leave it. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. TheDungeonMattster. I started speaking and nobody could hear me because I had my volume turned off. I'm sorry. Hopefully this works out now. I'm trying to get this to play nice, to behave. Let's continue. Okay. See? You can hear me. See, it wasn't that I had the microphone turned off, but the microphone wasn't the problem, it was the video processing. Restarting the computer usually fixes stuff like this. Let's see what happens. I'm sorry, folks. I do have a shit computer. Okay, so I saved the map, thankfully, before I did all that, so I don't have to start all over again. So now we've got our crap map shown over here, and for some reason I can't find my... Let's go. I want right there. We go. That's what I want. Move this thing back. So we got a couple of rivers coming down there that I made. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw it. I'll make a couple more because I don't know if the stream actually picked them up. So you click and you click and you click again. You don't have to click and drag. You click once and you click again, and it makes a node along a point. But we're going to end that one there. And you double click to finalize the river. You can get real small too. Like I come in here, drop that size down. Ooh, pixels! Come down way down here and just click, click. And you see how it made the, like it made like fade in there? See this button here? You can turn that off. Turn that way, and now it'll just be 100% the right size. And you can have little outlets come off over here. This isn't going to look like a real map. This isn't kind of shit you'd see in real life. I'm aware of that. I'm not making anything super special here, like I said. Just showing you guys this software and how I can use it to make my worlds. So you can do crazy shit like that. I really like that feature. Okay. Oh, that looks kind of cool. Nope. That was... Nope. What's happening? Oh, awesome. I'm going to make some more. Because at the end of every river is a delta in my world. That's why. So there you go. So you've seen the river tool. See how that works. And we got this tool here too, which is water appearance. So you can change the hue. I could make purple water. Oh, we got purple water happening now, folks. That's pretty cool. Change it to more of a blue. It's too blue. It's kind of a blue-green. I like that. That's kind of an ocean blue. That's pretty neat. Okay. Wow. So there's all kinds of things we can change. Some of these options I've never seen before, but stain amount raises that background. Oh yeah, like that. You get the background stains happening there. That's pretty cool. That's kind of cool. I like that. So you can do that with the water appearance tool. That's the filter on that. So we can change. I realize I'm all over the place here, folks. I'm sorry. There's no rhyme or reason to this. I'm going to back off those coastlines just a little bit. That's what each of those individual things does, which I like. Yes, and we're going to be increasing the vignette because I think that that looks awesome. That looks like a really cool old worn map. I really like that. We're going to stick with that. We'll save that. Okay. So, what's next? What do I want to do now? What do we got here? What review? Oh, the Windrose tool. That's right. I could do one of those. Yeah, let's do that. Let's stick that in the background. Why not? That looks cool. That's certifiable. Could do the double one, which I've seen on some maps, which I think we will. Okay. I think we need more water on the other side, so we're going to add some more river. We'll have this one just appear there. Nah, I want it to fade in. That one's going to fade in. Okay. That looks pretty good. Damn. Sorry, guys. Good enough. So I've already taken care of the hell out of that continent, so let's go up down here and do some stuff down here. I love how you can make them change course like that. You can change the roughness too, like if you want a straight river, turn the meander distance down, turn the roughness down. And then when you pull the river out of the mountains, it's a little bit less jagged than it was, and you can actually control the direction it flows in a hell of a lot better. And make your river follow the exact course you want it to follow. Sweet. We can add some streams and such too, but I think these rivers, ooh, I know, something I wanted to put there. Alright. One nice long river down here, I think. Something that comes from up here. I'm adjusting the width by holding the Alt key as I go, so I can make the river wider or smaller at parts. So you can do something like that. That looks a little weird, but I'll keep it for now. Yeah, see, it looks a little weird, but you can do something like that for sure. Doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Alright, I'm done fucking with water for now. Let's do something else. Let's do some trees. I want to put some trees down. Several styles. I'm fond of these, like, I call these Peanuts trees, because these look like little trees you'd see on an episode of Peanuts or whatnot. But I want to try to keep the same art style going here. So we're not going to do anything that massive. That's a little ridiculous. Let's see if I can find a good pen tree. Deciduous style. We don't want you to not be able to see this. This is going to be an overworld map, and it doesn't have that large of a resolution. So I don't want to make my icons so small that you can barely see them if you print this or something. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to place my trees, doing the same thing I did with the mountains, holding down the button. And it will place a bunch of random trees. Sweet. Welcome anybody new just joining us to the stream. I've got the sound going now, so I can actually hear my damn fool self. Or so you all can hear my damn fool self. I don't like those trees. Those aren't staying. I'm not keeping those. Oh, there's so little. I could barely see them. I thought I didn't have anything selected. So I'll stick a couple coniferous trees in there too. Expand our forestial palette a little bit. None of that was a correct sentence, by the way. I have a great forest down here or some such. I love how it can scatter them too for me, so I don't have to worry so much about painting the trees individually and getting annoyed with a project before I've even begun it. So this could be swampland up here, I think. Now I know in Incarnate you can change the ground color of specific areas. I don't know if I can do that here. Maybe? Oh, we've got a paintbrush. Oh, yes we can. That's right. Okay. Alright, so that's what I did before. That's the fill button. We don't need the fill button. We need... Okay. I'm just using the open bracket key on my keyboard to drop the size down. Yeah, pretty much by the looks of it. So if I go back to symbols, and if I go back to trees here, I'll make a nice big set of trees here. They can go in the water for a minute. Actually, I'll put them someplace where you can see them. Go in up here. Yes, it does. So I got this tree right here, and it's going to scatter it all over for me, like that, based on these two things over here, placement rate and placement density, which I can actually turn up, and it'll make it way thicker and just paint them. But the bonus part is, see how it's got mountains there? Mountains already know they're on a specific layer, so the trees are painting behind the mountains until it reaches a certain point, and then it'll paint in front of the mountains. So yeah, it looks procedurally drawn. I think that's what you would call that. Let's see here. Yeah, let's do some of this little grassland stuff. Nope, that looks bad. I'm not going to keep that. Cattails, maybe? I forgot that I had reinstalled this and I don't have some of my other symbols that I was playing with before. Like I said, I haven't owned this piece of software that long. But, okay. That actually works for me. Drop that way back down. Okay. Okay, so paint that kind of, those kinds of things there. So I'm going to do, where's my land brush? It is no more the case, sir. You don't have to do that anymore. Things have advanced now. That the games are so popular, people seem to be picking up development on them more, on these kinds of projects more. Character builders and such, we're seeing more of all that kind of stuff. I want a good gray, dark, kind of swampy color here. Yes. So now I should be able to come in here and paint this. Yes, there we go. I like that. So it's like a gray earth. Yes. I'm having fun now. Oh yeah, this is cool. I forgot about that. So you can kind of do like a dark Mordor kind of setting over here and have it be like this horrific freaking place. All right. It'd be a terrible, terrible place for your players to visit. I'm just going to paint this whole area here. I don't know if there's a way for me to do a selection, but what's this button do? No. Landmass, polygon, lasso. Huh? I bet that just raises landmass on a polygon. Shall we find out what it does? Yep. It just raises more ground. Doesn't do anything special. Sweet. So far, there's nothing here that you wouldn't have seen using something like Incarnate. However, the thing that I like about this software is you pay for it once and you download it and it's yours and you get free updates for life. So I could just update my video card on this thing a little, and it's, before you say anything, I have an old video card, so that's why this is such a piece of shit. So we haven't actually gotten into any of the world building part yet. Now we're just, I feel like I'm building this up kind of like, like evolution takes place. Like how the landmass of Earth formed. You start with land, and then you start maybe mountains, and then trees and plants, and then sooner or later people came and they developed things and built their towns near lakes and rivers and such. So you kind of build it up in layers that way. It kind of seems like it makes sense to me that's how the world was built, slowly over a period of time rather than suddenly empire. Okay, so we can use this too to kind of paint borders, nations, stuff like that, which I think is pretty freaking dope. Alright, so that's good enough for now, I think. I'm going to keep that as my border. We'll call this Darkland, or some such. Okay, we need more trees. More trees, sir. More trees, more trees. I don't feel like there should be any living trees in that area, though. Do I have any dead trees? Yeah, kind of. Those kind of work. Or are those just freaking... Those are just freaking pines. That's not what I want. Yeah, just these little pencil trees here. Next to my gigantic grass, because I couldn't make my grass any smaller. Mess with the sizes a little bit here. Some variation. I think that's good enough for Darkland. I think Darkland's got enough trees. What we got going on up here? What are you? My grassland. I can't imagine it being very entertaining watching me mull over these decisions here. It takes me a really long time to pick something that I like, and I'll go over things over and over and over again before I do. So, better get used to it now. Okay. What we got here? I think that's a good spot for a town. I'm going to leave that kind of open. Nah, stick a tree right there. Boom. 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 It's kind of a northern region. I think I'll go for that. That pine tree look. I don't know. Does that look stupid? I think that kind of looks stupid. I don't know if I want to do that. So maybe to the north up here, we've got some kind of a very large northern boreal kind of forest. So maybe there's trees and such chilling up here. Like a huge mass of trees. Obviously there's trees, but... Alright, how are we looking on the rest down here? Maybe this will be some kind of desert terrain. I think that's a good idea. We do go back to land here. We're going to color this a little bit lighter of a tan. Make my brush a lot bigger. Oh, are you already painted that color, you sly dog? Yeah, no, we need a much better color for desert sand here. There we are. I like that. That's a better color. So I'm going to fix this stuff here. Land. Close up those lakes. I don't think I want any lakes in desert land down here. I think we're going to make that the designated desert. Some hills. Those are dumb. Let's find better hills. What the hell with the Camelback Hills? Come on. Come on. What are you doing? There we go. Those represent like dunes or something. There we go. I thought I saw something back here too in the trees. I saw a cactus. I did see a cat. I seen a cactus. He ate a cactus for breakfast. I don't know. So instead of a forest, you got like a cactus forest. That'll be pretty cool. We got palm trees on the Riviera, ladies and gentlemen. This is the best place to visit. Screw everywhere else in this map. This is where you want to be at, right here. You want to be down south, lounging and relaxing in the sunshine. I'm assuming that these kind of trees only grow where the water is. I'm kind of just making this up as I go. I don't think I've ever made a desert area in one of my games before. At least not one that my players ever got to see. Because parties like to break up before we get too far into a campaign. But either case, I think I've painted enough faux foliage down there. I don't know how a desert area can be right next to that unless that's not true north. Alright. I think physical features look pretty good. I think it might be a good idea to start doing some other stuff here. I want to make this a little bit more greeny. Some grassland, kind of. A little bit of greenish tint. No, I don't. I need the brush. Nope. Alright, that's the one. Something was coloring in my mountains there. Color the ground under these trees a little bit, and it'll help paint them the color that I actually want them to be. And these color palettes, I believe these color palettes change at the beginning when you're setting your theme for your map. I believe you can change these color palettes out, unless it just changes the water, I forget. But you can change the theme while you're editing up here by clicking on the theme menu, and it'll bring it up. But I think that just does other more technical stuff like textures and such. Go there and rob it. Alright, up here we're going to make this a winter wonderland. So we're going to use like a lightish whitish gray. This would be like the Ice Kingdom. The Ice Kingdom, man. I'm allowing my coast to stay a little brown, I guess. I think that might look nice in the end, so I want all this stuff up here and all these mountains and all these trees to turn white. You look up there and you go, oh, it's white, it must be wintertime up there. So you can metagame and piss your Dungeon Master off. Because I know how much Dungeon Masters love the metagaming, right guys, right? we're starting to get somewhere. This is starting to look like a thing now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm starting to be happy with this. Oh. I'm just going to take a quick break and get up and walk around. And I'll just leave this on the screen real quick. So don't go anywhere. Just hang out for a minute or two. I'm just going to go refresh my drink and use the facilities real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay. All right. I put some snow over here as well, because why not? I always thought it funny, at least me personally. Just feel free to disagree. I always found it personally funny how much realism people expect in their fantasy when it's an escapist kind of thing. And furthermore, in a game particularly where you're casting lightning bolts at fictional creatures, how realism can be a thing you can complain about. I always thought that the suspension of disbelief was more important than anything. Yeah, the river flows sideways. That's how it flows here. Okay, so we accept that and we move on and we just use it as a a default part of the world. We accept it as normal, as true, that this is just a thing. I was gonna have this area be a little bit more temperate, but I think I'm gonna change my mind again. DungeonMattster, you're killing me with this mind changing all the time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, DungeonMattster don't care. DungeonMattster changed his mind when DungeonMattster wants to change his mind. After all, this is the DungeonMattster project, not your project. Okay, here we go. That's enough snow. That looks pretty good. I am, for a random map, I'm liking how it's coming out. I have put no thought or effort into doing this so far. Can't you tell? Alright, so we're going to green this up a little bit. This island is going to be unique. I have already kind of envisioned a purpose for this island as far as a landmass goes, like a strategic landmass. I think that's going to kind of be like an old abandoned tower or something for this bay, or would you call this a sea? I think at this scale we're looking at calling this some kind of a sea. I think I want to close this off over here because this is kind of not doing it for me. So I'm going to raise up some land up here to fill this in and close this off and have this officially become a bay of sorts. And there, okay. Paint some more symbols. We'll do trees again. Back up to pine trees because north. That one's too big. I'm not trying to make Yggdrasil. Yes. And I'm thinking like up there, like way up north is that big, great, unexplored unknown. You know, maybe adventurers. Let's start making this a little bit more sparse. Adventurers go there, but they don't come back, kind of thing. You know, very rarely do people come back, and when they do, the things that they talk about are absolutely batshit insane. Maybe they encounter Yeti and stuff like this that nobody's ever heard of, mythical creatures that perhaps people dismissed as being unreal or otherwise, and they come back with these tales of them and spread them around. But no problem, Joe. Enjoy your cleaning, bud. Sweet. Okay. Now that I've done that... Oh, yes. I know what I'm doing. Can't you tell? Land. What did I do? There we go. Alright. Nope. Wrong. Okay. How did that random tree... God damn it. It's a random tree. Chilling in the middle of nowhere over here. God damn it. Come on. Where's my symbol button? And it's as simple as selecting it and hitting delete, folks, that you can get rid of those things. Yeti the size of Mack trucks. You realize I have to make a stat block for a gargantuan Yeti now. That's got to happen. It's got to be like a Yeti behemoth or some shit. Yes! Yeti behemoth! Oh my god, that has to be a thing. This has all got to be a thing now. Okay, hey. I think I've got enough here to start putting some detail into some actual detail into this map. So I'm digging on my northern region here. Maybe we got two kingdoms feuding here. One is maybe what would they be feuding about? Looks like kind of a light and dark scenario. On the one side of the mountains you have this lush tundra / mountainous frozen landscape, and on the other you've just got dead, rot, and decay. And maybe these two kingdoms are not. Maybe this, you know, the contrast of dark and light. You associate dark with evil, light with good. Maybe instead we flip the script on that, and maybe the people from Ice World Place over here are the twisted ones, and maybe the ones from Dark World over here down on the bottom left are actually, you know, oppressed by icy, you know, white folks. Icy white folks. Nice. Good. Go with that. Let's start here. I feel like a castle keep or something should be in here. What do we have for symbols here that we can do? Go to our symbols palette. Oh, this is the custom section, which we're not gonna touch on right now. But that's how I imported my city map into my other map, which I can do another point if you guys want to see how I did that. So we've got all kinds of we got all kinds of stuff here. So it's sorted by category, and some of these, no, maybe I did have my downloads, because some of these aren't default. So we're gonna do inked castles. Let's see what we got here. Let's see how they look on the map. That looks kind of cool, but it's not as grimdark as I like it. And yes, I'm a grimdark kind of guy. That's me. Where am I? Ooh, I'm always tempted to put down ruins where ruins shouldn't be, but No, we're going to go with castles. We'll go with the inked castles. What about this here? What about this? How does that look? The red. And the... Okay, I could do custom colors. Good. So we'll make them dark colors then, because damn. Pitch black. No, not pitch black. Maybe blue black. Cobalt almost. There we go. There we go. A bit lighter gray. Is that okay? I see what I did wrong. Is that actually doing anything? Yes! That's a great idea. That would be a kick-ass one. I like that. A dark gray, the dark gray area was once thriving and was killed in a catastrophic necromantic ritual that sucked the life from flora and fauna alike by the North. They held a grudge ever since. Yes, that's great. That's even just in this one area. And we got to add like 30 castles. So we need all those castles to be here. That has to happen. I hope I can backspace enough to delete them all. Oh, holy shit, dude. There we go. I like that. That works. Let's try. Make a palette a little darker. Okay. So I am going to turn it into some kind of ruins then. No, maybe not. I just love ruins because I love post-apocalyptic stuff. Alright, yeah, why not? Actually, maybe that would be... This looks like a job for down south. Oh, I know where that's going. Yes. I move that later. I'm just putting it there as a reminder. It's like a placeholder. Same thing with this one. Oh, yeah. I would have failed World Building 101. I am so all over the place. Okay. There we go. Bringing a little bit more of that death and decay. I like it. See, I like that idea about the necromancers from the north, but maybe the necromancers weren't from the north. Maybe they worked for the north. Maybe they blew up their own tower, but they were doing it because they thought they were helping or some shit like that. That'd be even more messed up. I kind of like that twist on the villains there. Making maybe the villains are actually the bad guys are actually the villains. I mean, the good guys. Kill that. That didn't look good. Keep looking at ink castles. There's more stuff here. Alright, so what do we got? We got bridges. Let's go to all and just scan. Let's just see what we got. Little cliffs, little pictures of giants. Oh, we can put a sea monster out there. Yes. There we go. There we go. This is more what I'm looking for. Goodbye. We got ourselves a Minas Tirith kind of thing going here. think that suits that quite well. Yep, and then I can put this one down here. I like it. Oh yeah, and then there's then there's more. That looks even cooler. We're gonna go with that one. I like it. It's got the black pieces on it. Yes, indeed. Okay, I feel like I need a kingdom down here. Maybe this is more villagey down here. There might be a couple towns along this this waterway. Put one there. Put one down there. Across the way here. Kind of spread that hamlet out a little bit. Wow, they even have farmland and fields too. I'd use that if I was going maybe a little smaller. So we could do a village like this, which I've done on my other maps before. That doesn't look right though. I don't want to put that there. Huh, they even have some modern buildings in here. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I can have like a little mine over here. I like that. That's neat. Oh, you can do waterfalls. Dude, this is cool. I didn't even know about that. What the hell? What the bloody hell? Yes. Some templates and stuff that I use here to do city stuff, or you can use to do city stuff, but I forgot I even had it. Make down here have like a port or something. Japanese style castle. Okay. Picking up what they're putting down. I don't want to try to use the same things over and over again. That's kind of why I'm struggling a little bit here. I don't want to have I don't want to just throw things on this map. I want it to be, somewhat reasonable. This will be cool here. A little island with some old ruins on it, maybe full of some undead or something. That'd be pretty cool. Again, with the random stuff appearing in the water. Yeah, maybe they owned the tower or something at one point. It's like some locus of necromantic energy or something like that, and they can maybe the party somehow teleports to here from out here somewhere, and this is where you have the fight with the big bad or something like that. That could be kind of interesting. Okay. Definitely going to have a port over here. I think over here is pretty good. This place might have two, though. They might be kind of wealthy. Like, kind of like Dubai or something like that. Whoops. Interesting. All right. What am I looking for here? Playful Town? No. No, 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 no. No Playful Town. Playful Town is yucky. We don't want that. We want the serious and the grim and dark. That's the hamlet again. The dead trees. Alright, so I got some village stuff, but I'm just thinking about all the different scales that you can do with these maps, and some of these icons are really better suited for smaller scale, like if you for a small, like a county, or even just like a city-state or something like that, if you're going to just do the map of a single area as opposed to a larger area like this. If I put this giant waterfall icon here, that would look pretty cool, huh? Instead of that mountain. Let's do that. Let's kill this mountain here. Let's kill this mountain. This one too. And we're going to have this here. It seems... whatever. I think that's cool. I like that right there. Then you have no question about what it is. It's a mountain with a gigantic waterfall on top of it. That looks kind of neat, actually. Alright. Back to what I was doing. I've got some sci-fi stuff in here that I've never used. Let's put an office building right here. Let's not do that. That's not going to work. Alright, so I think I'm being too picky, and I think that's my problem, and that's usually my problem. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to bite the bullet, and we're going to pick something that looks decent. This one looks decent. I didn't want to reuse something like that, but that'll be there. And then I'll put a town off to the side of it or something, like a couple buildings down here. Hey, that's alright. That'll work. At least you understand what it's supposed to be. That might be, those icons might be a little too big though. We're going to adjust the size. Select them and hold Alt while I scroll my mouse wheel. Alright. I want to put a... I saw one. I want to put a painted kraken out there or something. Or a mermaid. Nope, 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 nope. Symbols. Bring me back to my symbols, man. Okay. Goodbye, Mermand. I don't like you. Sorry. You cannot be here. What do we got? It's really hard to see these things because they're on a gray background, and I don't want a worm. That's a dragon. That's a wyvern. There we go. At a quote-unquote deep denizen who guards the seas out here on that way. He's Trogdor the Fishinator. Sorry guys. It's a lazy day here at TheDungeonMattster, and I picked a hell of a good day to do a stream. My first stream, by the way. As many of you know, I run a Patreon over at patreon.com/TheDungeonMattster. I haven't done much over there lately, but I do try to get a video out every week. Lately, that hasn't been the case. Next week, we'll be resuming my normal video posting schedule. If you want to help support the channel, head on over there. Enough of that shameless promotion speech bullcrap aside, and let's get back to this stuff that's actually fun. Alright, so I saw my compass roses. Wait. We've got more stuff here. Okay. I'm just gonna full on ADHD this, and whatever pops in here is where I'm gonna go. So if it's disorganized or whatever, too bad. That's how I work. I see what I did there. That's how that works, huh? Put this bad boy over here. Okay. So this is another, it's like a third kingdom over there. Maybe there's like a pompous, rich kind of kingdom over there. All right, this is actually pretty good. I think this is... Gotta stop randomly placing stuff in the middle of nowhere. Okay. Yeah, I gotta paint that ground there. Like that. Paint all this ground right here. Alright, I think it's time we can start slapping down some names here to do with our story and whatnot. So we can start doing our labels here. So I like this part. This part I've played with before. So what if I just called this Mordoria? No. Mordoria is dumb. I can do that. Call it We're gonna be okay. We'll be pedantic and literal then. We'll call it Darkland. Or we can name it something less lame. Let's be more pretentious. Lands of Eternal Night. Sure. Why is it called the Lands of Eternal Night? Well, if we're going to go with the story that was thrown out in chat, we can say maybe when the necromancers killed everything, sucking the life out of everything there, the sun won't even shine. So it's always perpetually caught in a state of darkness. You could call it that. You liked that, huh, Mordoria? Yeah. It's not going to be called that. We're not going to call it that. The Lands of Eternal Night. I think that's a cooler, tropish kind of name. I'm into that trope kind of stuff. So you got to grab the handle. You got to do the draggy drag. And we could add... God, yawning so much. We could add curvature to it. Bring it in. What have I got here? Can't control the... It does have a name generator, which is pretty interesting, by the way. So if you are struggling coming up with a name for something, that's got maybe too much curve to it. Oh, there we go. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Sometimes what I'll do, too, when I'm doing my world building, and I'm not just using this program, obviously, I'm new to this, but sometimes one of the things that I'll do is I'll name a thing and then create the story around the name. So, like, the name might be ridiculous, but maybe I'll just use that as inspiration for things. So, like this Lands of Eternal Night thing. We're going to use that to fuel the storyline for this area. Again, you know, the feud between this, again, now the Lands of Eternal Night versus whatever blah blah North people are going to be called. Okay. So I'm kind of going around naming my regions here. So we got the Lands of Eternal Night. I feel like I want to do a contrast and call this like the Lands of Eternal Light now, but that's not that. I don't know. Naming is always the hardest thing for me to come up with. I've changed names on things so many times. No, I want my labels. Give me back my labels here. Icy McIcetown for our north place. No, that's not gonna work. We'll call it call it the Lands of Eternal Night. Hey, don't be Lands of Frozen Pizza. Okay, Lands of Eternal Frost. That will go with that theme. So we have these two warring kingdoms that go together here. It makes a little bit of sense to me. I can live with that. leave it as Lands of Eternal Frost and the Lands of Eternal Night. So they're both kind of like, I feel like, you know, goth metal tropes here. We got, like, on one hand, you got the first album with the frost and the, you know, the maiden wearing all the furs and shit, and then the second album, it's the guy with the dark mask with the cool metal pose. And so we got the Lands of Eternal Frost and the Lands of Eternal Night. Maybe the Lands of Eternal Frost weren't always frozen. Maybe they were cursed by what they did to the lands to the south, and they stick, and maybe they screwed their whole ecosystem up because the magic backfired and made their whole. So maybe they're suffering too. So maybe both these lands playing off each other, they're still feuding, right? So, but maybe the generations have gone by so much, neither one of them can remember exactly what they're fighting for anymore. So now you've got these two warring nations, one decimated by the other and one dying out on its own, and maybe they're looking for a little help to get back together, or maybe they don't know they need the help. And maybe behind all of it, now that both of these lands are screwed up, maybe there's a dragon's lair nearby. Maybe they got the Lands of Eternal Night. We've got maybe a black dragon down in the swamp here. Maybe took up residence in the keep, or some such, or maybe some ruins down here by our lake. The possibilities for that are endless, for sure. And that's just this one region. And that was not supposed to happen. I do not want to do that. City. Nope. That was the wrong thing. Okay. So we're going to go city here. We're going to call this label Castle Dank Nugs. Dank Nugas. Dank Nugas. With a Z. You like this? I'm liking this, and we can come up with some cool shit. What would you call this castle? I don't know what to call this castle up here. I want to call him something cool, like Castle Dower or something like that. That means, like, it's like a really, like, it basically just means sad castle. Like, let's call, yeah, all right, let's call it that. Let's, Castle Dower. We want 0 cover. No, 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 not negative. Not negative. Oh, it's so slow. Yeah, the more you add to the map, the more it gets, the more the program starts to slow down a little bit. I'm going to save real quick just in case something happens. This program has not crashed on me yet. It's been a lot of fun working with it, but it has not crashed on me yet. Thank God. So we've got Castle Dower, is the castle to the north. So call this one Black Keep. That works. That sounds sexy. AF. Nope. Drop our size down slightly. We don't want them to be so small. Yo. Okay, so interject on the Gray Mountains. What's up? What do you want to say about them Gray Mountains, sir? I'm listening. The Gloom Peaks. Sounds good, bro. Let's call it that. We will call it that. I like that a lot. So we'll move this down here. So I feel like I could label this for days, and it'll take away some of the imagination of it. But I like the labeling of the big things, so we're going to keep with that. So, I mean, on the smaller level, you could have a whole adventure just in the lands of eternal night. You never even have to leave there. Labels. City, town, region. So we're going to go back to our region font. Okay. Actually, I'm going to, you said the Gloom Peaks? I'm going to change it slightly. I think this sounds cooler. The Gloam Peaks. So maybe it's a little bit of both, inferring that it's sad, but also that it's literally hard to see up there and nearly impossible to navigate. Okay. This over here. I wish I could lower the... I wish I knew how to lower the opacity of that text. But that's alright. It doesn't have to be perfect. I suffers from perfectitis. That's alright. I can live with that. Save it again. Okay, so we got the Gloam Peaks, the Black Keep, the Lands of Eternal Night. There's a lake there. I don't know if we need to name that. It's kind of a small feature. I would do that maybe if I was making the map a little bigger. Again, the resolution's not so great on this. We got Castle Dower. I'm assuming there's a river flowing out from there. I'm assuming that river has a name. I like to think the river down here with the forks and all that stuff, we just call the Maw. I think that would be cool because it opens up like a gaping maw and leads you right into the Black Keep as you sail up the water and you end up towards the mountains. Okay. I feel like this is a watchtower of some sort, or maybe like a wizard's tower that was abandoned. Maybe this is where the necromancers did their spell. No, that doesn't make sense because they're gonna end up working from the northern part from the north. That's where they were working for. That's where they sucked the life from. So, come back to this. I'm not gonna do that right now. Come back to that one. Sit there staring at the screen for an hour trying to think of a name for the damn place. Sometimes my brain. So we've got... Let's see what we got here. Maybe I think these people over here might be somewhat useful in recounting the tale of what happened to the lands to the east. Maybe people over here somehow were refugees from the people to the east, from this whole conflict. So maybe this land over here exists of people from both the north and the south. And these folks offer refuge to those who would seek to come. Maybe they're patron deities like Bahamut or something like that. So they're a lawful good kingdom, and they look, benefit. What's the word I'm looking for? They look positively on poor people and stuff like that. They try to help them. So let's see what we can call. They need to have like a cool heroic type name, like not like Etonia or something like that. I could could rip off He-Man and call it Eternia, but instead call it Aeternia. That'll work. It's kind of bootleg, but he keeps making new labels on me. Okay. So we're going to have the region is going to be the north. It's still the north. I'm going to change it to this. With a 0 curvature. So we have Aeternia over here, which I think that's a pretty fitting name for lawful good. What next? Alright, I'm going to go down here for a little bit. I think these people are more... This is more like farmers and stuff like that down here. This is where you're going to find your village people, not those village people, but you're going to find your simple folk. So maybe we got a mine here. I'll use the town label. I'm a huge fan of Skyrim, so I'm going to call this the Bleak Barrow, after the first dungeon in Skyrim, the Bleak Falls Barrow. It's a significant feature. It's perhaps an underground store or something like that. Maybe there's some Otyugs that got in there and started eating the villagers' stores and stuff. I don't know what you would use a barrow for other than that, or maybe a grave or something like that. But I think that'll work. We could use that for that purpose. A simple name for this one. What do we call this one? Like a Swedish kind of like Fjarn. Yeah, that looks good. I like that name. The simple folk of Fjarn. They've been toiling of late, working extra hard in the fields to make up for their stores, which have suddenly started rotting for no reason. And it has something to do with the Bleak Barrow down here. Like I said, perhaps an Otyug got in there. Krusty Ratman Black Market. We're going to rob them too. That's right. We're going down to the Bleak Barrow, and we're going to rob the Krusty Ratman. I think even better still, maybe they're were-rats that are worshipping some kind of a rat god. This is coming together. We got ourselves a world to explore here, sir. It's going to be awesome. I have to put this on the table now. I wasn't planning on keeping anything that we did here today, but it's coming out pretty well. I might have to use it at some point. Okay. I like the idea of sister cities. We've got Fjarn, and further downstream we've got Fjorn. Fjorn, and Fjorn. That doesn't make any sense. Fjorn, Fjarn, and Fjorn. Yeah, alright. Yep, we're keeping it. I have decreed it. It is so. So there's 3 farming villages here that are perhaps affected by what's going on here at the Bleak Barrow. And I'm going to go back and add some other symbols. I think we need a main town kind of area here. I don't know. Nothing too big. Yeah, I already used that one. That's Fjarn. Means I need another one. So we're gonna go with Fjarn. Fjarn, Fern, Fjarn, Fjorn. Fjorn, Fjarn, Fjorn, Fjorn. Maybe they were named after some dwarven brothers. Ugh. Sweet. So we've got these very oddly named Finnish or Swedish style towns. So maybe we had 4 dwarf brothers who all got angry at each other and decided to start their own farming collectives. So you have 4 different farming concerns in this region who all trade through the port to the southwest. And they're all incredibly annoyed with one another, and they all start all these, I don't know, brawls with one another and trade wars with one another. They block roads. They mess with one another. They don't mess with other people. They just mess with each other. This program is a lot of fun, Frankie, but it takes a little bit of computer memory, something that I'm willing to deal with, you know, the program running slow on my PC. Some people wouldn't be willing to deal with that. That's why Incarnate is better in that regard. I still personally like this one better for me because of the versatility of it and the fact that I can customize it endlessly and the fact that I download it and I don't have to be connected to the internet to use it. All of them are viable reasons to have it, and that's nothing against Incarnate. I love that application. I used that one for quite a while, actually, before I used this. I think I might have some maps around somewhere that I made with it, but I'm not going to dig for them right now. I might post them later. I keep placing random labels. This one was supposed to actually be something. So we're going to go back to region. We need to name this region. Fjorn, and it's ridiculous. So they are the brothers, the dwarves. I break that trope, man, of dwarves speaking in Scottish accents. We're taking it back. We gotta stop that. We gotta make the dwarves can be anything. They don't have to be Scottish. I think they mostly would be European, but I'd be odd seeing a dwarf speaking a New York accent, but I'm sure it has happened. Stop pigeonholing dwarves as Scottish people, folks. Come on. Even though it is incredibly fun to do a drunken dwarven accent while you're getting drunk. What do we want to call this area? It's kind of forested, kind of, I don't know, kind of like the Northeast here. What about you guys? What would you call this little region here? Rural, farming? Let's try the generator thing and see what it comes up with. Let's see what you guys have for names, too. Arkin Waters. Saffron Crest. Equin Post. No, I don't like Dimini Wall. No. Dagger Hall. Dagger Hall. That's a cool name. It's close to Dagger Fall, but I like that one for up here. Keep Dagger Hall up here. That's pretty cool. That could be a cool dungeon right there. Multi-tiered mega dungeon. The Dagger Hall. Cool. I want to move this. So move this right on top of the damn water right there. I'm not going to bother putting it aside. We're going to finna go labels. We're going to go town. The people in this area, there is a port. They're not all that wealthy. They move stuff. They work. They work for a living. Dwarves, gnomes, halflings. Maybe there's a spattering of tieflings, orcs. I wouldn't think there'd be too many dragonborn here. I think I would, in this world, we'd put the dragonborn maybe over on the western continent with the desert and whatnot. So I want this to. I like the idea of like port in the name. So. Boat, port, land. I'm stuck on this one. Let's see here. I'll come back to it. Maybe I'll think of something. Yeah. No, I've already got an AE name on here. I was gonna call it Aegisport. That's dumb. McPort. Screw it. Freeport. Maybe Freeport doesn't subscribe to the caste system or anything. Maybe these are some free peoples. Maybe these people govern themselves and they don't have a king or anything like that. And the wealthy landowners of the 4 towns to the east. There you go. There's the name of the region. 4 towns. Got my name for my region. Yes, no, I want that to be region size. Alright, so it's just called 4 towns. The Wilds. Yes, I'm liking it. It's coming together. There's some story to be drawn from all of this. There's a lot of stuff that goes on here. How all these areas interact and how all of these places are talking to one another. It's odd. We're actually almost done. I'm actually almost done. I feel like I'm almost done with this map. I just gotta label this little section down here. I'm thinking I'm gonna keep the stream going till about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then we'll call it from there. I see no reason to drag it on longer than that. So pretty much what it looks like when we're done with our map, we'll call the stream quits for the day. All right, so just a second. I'm gonna pause. Let me take another quick break and come back for right around 3 o'clock and pick back up where we left off. I got to do something real quick. You stick around. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I had to do something real quick. All right, so now we're down here in our desert region. For those of you just joining us, hi, I'm the TheDungeonMattster, and I am using Wonderdraft today to make a map for tabletop role-playing for your campaign, and it's a very affordable program. Again, I am not sponsored in any way, shape, or form by Wonderdraft. This is not a paid promotion. I'm just showing you the program to show you what you can do with it. And this is no means to touch on what people with more experience or better skills at map making can do with the program. Hello, puppy. I have a puppy dog. And she is very cute. Hello. Yes. Hi. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. You finally came in. You want to come on the bed and lay down? Come on, lay down. Come on. Good girl. She doesn't understand. Alright, so... Hi. Hello. Nice to see you. You joining us for the streams? You coming on stream? That's very cute. The whole world's going to see you and how cute you are. You know that. You're okay with it, apparently. Good girl. Good puppers. Okay, so we've got our desert castle here. I want to name this bad boy something. I'm going to let the random generator do this one, I think. Gilden Drum does not roll off the tongue. Obsidian Waters. Cool, but nah. Noble Drift. Radiantville. Snowmouth. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. Centistrand. 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 Nope, I don't like it. Not Buckingkirk, that's whatever. Snow Abbey. Quick Mound. Warm Pass? You like Warm Pass? Nope, she disagrees. Little Rootfirth. Sometimes saying them in a highly over-stylized English accent helps you pick them out. Fasting Deep. Locust Store. Rosenwalk. Ironfell. Ooh, I like it. Ironfell. Okay. So what do we have at Ironfell? Orcs. Orcs and Dragonborn. And they have a forge. Perhaps that's where they make complex weapons and such. Maybe there's some exotic kind of stuff that comes from there. Yes, alright, so we're going to keep Ironfell. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. So keep that on. I want to name this desert area down here. I like coming up with cool names like what something does to you rather than what it is. The Stranding. Perhaps because it's so easy to become lost? I don't know. I have to come back to that one too, but I'm going to change this. Once I've got everything named, I'll go back and standardize all the text to make it look a lot cooler than what it actually is. So I like that. Ironfell is the castle. So you go to Ironfell, you're not going to the city, you're going to the castle. But maybe that's what the city calls itself too. It's kind of, I don't know. So the castle is Ironfell, but the city is Ironfell. So that'd be confusing to people who aren't from there. But maybe this is because the city and the castle built up around the forge. Maybe they got this really cool magical forge in the bottom of Ironfell, and they make really nice magic weapons there. Again, Joe with the amazingness. We've got the famous trebuchet of Ironfell that could fell a castle wall within a day. So sturdy were the iron bolts that the siege weapons barely needed repair between war campaigns. Very good. Absolutely. Once upon a time, maybe Ironfell had war with Freeport. And maybe it's exceedingly good at kicking the ever-loving crap out of ocean-faring vessels who try to siege it. Perhaps it's built into some cliffs or some such. You agree. That's your agree noise, right? It's not your, you need to do stuff. Do you need to go outside? Is that the problem? Or you just want to go out and investigate? We're almost done. We'll go outside and play after, okay? Okay? Thank you. Alright. So Ironfell has gigantic trebuchets, maybe even some ballistas, and maybe even they've begun experimenting with a newfangled kind of magic powder that can propel metal balls at great distances and with great force. Trading from strange lands to the south beyond the desert, or far to the west beyond the great sea. We have a waterfall here. We have a lovely waterfall. I want to call this the Golden Falls. For no real reason. I mean, maybe there's not a gold mine, but maybe there's some kind of property to the water that gives it a shine, and it's really nothing so greatly serious as the fact that there's actually gold there, but there's some property to the water that makes it shine in the eastern sky or something like that as the sun rises. Or when you look to the east as the sun rises, there's a shimmer to the falls or something like that. So they call them the Golden Falls, if for nothing else than that. But maybe that's kind of like the pride of Ironfell. That's kind of like their landmark du jour or something. Oh boy. I'm going to label this smaller. I'm labeling this as a water feature. No, okay, nope. Instantly seeing that that's a bad idea. We're going to label it as a town. There we go. So different kind of text, but it still kind of stands out. So we got the stranding, which is the desert down there. Get lost there probably pretty easily. Perhaps maybe something in the sand or something like that as a force that magically enchants the sand so that it keeps, you know, erasing footprints and stuff like that. I think they just call it they just call that wind, but yeah, metal. Okay, so we got so Ironfell, we got the Golden Falls. So maybe I could change the name of the desert to be something else too. We go up here, we call this the Fallen Tower of Steel. Maybe that was their first attempt at building their town, and Ironfell is the second attempt, and the Fallen Tower was destroyed. Maybe it's made entirely of steel. The Copper Waste. Hey! There we go. I like it. I very much like that. That is a killer name. We're going to go with that. Yeah, you're right. Yep, it does, doesn't it? It totally gives you another idea altogether. Oh, you are correct, sir. Indeed, it does. So the following... God damn it, I have to change that now because I can't get that out of my mind. And you ruined... was going to say shit. Yeah, well, you said it. You said it. It's out there now. Now it's got to be dealt with. It's the elephant in the room, or in this case, the golden shower in the room. So, yeah. We'll come back to it. We're going to come back to that. Fallen Tower of Steel. I don't want it to... I'm going to change that to... What the fuck did I just do? Alright. I don't want it to eclipse our other... Golden Peak. Maybe it doesn't have to be gold. Hold on. It can still be shiny. It can still do what it does at dawn. So maybe I can change... the Golden Peak. Getting somewhere. Bronze Falls. Bronze is an amalgam of copper and tin as a metal. Hear me out. Not the shiniest metal. I was kind of going for the gold miner kind of, you know, yeah, the gold miner kind of, you know, water panning thing with the shining of the water. So maybe like stripper glitter falls or something like that. We'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. Mirror Falls. Mirror Falls is closer to what I'm looking for. Mirror Falls. We'll keep it that. If we can think of something different at some point, maybe that will be it. But I think that's the one we're going to go with. Stop making labels. What are you even doing? Okay. Apparently I can't edit that text for some reason. There it is. That's what I want. There was a dungeon that I had designed once that was a sideways, you know, the map was a sideways map. It was more of a, you know, how deep does this place kind of go thing. And I had named everything like a proper title, like a chapter heading, almost like there was like the Great Below, the Unfathomable Deeps, the Great Stair, kind of things like that. So for this kind of tower, maybe I want to call it something like an upward climb. That's not how you spell climb. Because maybe the person who owned it was insanely eccentric and built a lot of stairs or something like that, and nobody calls it like the junk tower or anything. Like, they call it an upward climb because that's what it is. Because as soon as you enter into the tower, you're going up, and that's the only way you're going. Okay, that sounds even better. Should have the first tower that didn't work called Ironfell. Okay. So I should have this one called Ironfell. And this one would be called... Ah. Okay, so here we go. We'll do this instead. You see what I'm going with here? Ironfall, Iron Rise. Eh. There we go. There we go. That works for me. Okay. Ironfall, Mirror Falls, Iron Rise, the Copper Waste. Hey, this is starting to sound pretty cool. This is a place I'd play in for sure. I like it. Up here we've got, let's go back, let's go over it again. Let's look at everything we've got. We got Dagger Hall, perhaps attached to the Lands of Eternal Night somehow, the Black Keep. In there, we have Castle Dower versus the Black Keep. The Lands of Eternal Frost had a group of necromancers who, in an attempt to, they were attempting to siphon energy from the Lands of Eternal Night, which were not at the time called the Lands of Eternal Night, to raise an army of the dead. Why? Why the hell not? Because. Don't worry about it, Frankie. I don't know if I'm going to make this a regular thing yet. Four people watching a stream does not a stream make. And I don't know if I like doing this. We're going to see. We're going to find out. It's an experiment anyway. But yeah, hold off on buying anything right now for my sake anyway. So we have these two nations that were at war with one another. Castle Dower attempted to raise an army of undead, perhaps to help destroy their enemy in the Lands of Eternal Night. They sucked all of the life from the Lands of Eternal Life. The land is dead. Perhaps even the people there are dead too, not even living. That's usually what dead means. And now Castle Dower and the lands to the north are dying off because they ran out of energy. Their the life force that they stole from the south perhaps has turned on them and is starting to kill their own land. So the Land of Eternal Frost, they probably never see spring anymore. Maybe all their water's freezing. Maybe they got no food. And it's all kind of their own fault because their ancestors sapped the Lands of Eternal Night of all of their energy and life. To the west, we have the Land of Eternia, which I stole from He-Man and added an A to, so pretty easy to derive that. Eternia served as a neutral party in the War for Eternal Night, which I guess we could call it that. The War for the Lands of Eternal whatever. Perhaps offering safe refuge to those who escaped from that war. Okay. So I like all of these ideas. You guys have good ideas. Mirror Peak and then Golden Peak, Golden Summit, Golden Lake of Mirrors. Yes, okay. Golden Summit. Mirrors. Sure thing. That looks good. And I can actually legit add a lake. The lake tool, we're going to reduce that size a lot of it. Oh yeah, this is the lake tool. I forgot this exists. Bam, instant lake at the bottom of the... I don't know if a lake that large could exist in a desert, but if it's that close to the coast, maybe. Again, I'm not going for realism, so yeah, it works. Contradicts completely what I said earlier about not needing to make everything real, because too much realism in my fantasy takes away from the fantasy. Alright, so I've already named my ocean without even trying, because I wasn't even trying to do that earlier, so I'm going to call this one Great. The great text bubble off screen. What the F, man? Everybody, I feel like every fantasy stories. Oh yeah, no, I could do that. That would work. I could put some mountains on the side of the lake and cut it off. A ring of green around the lake before the desert. And mountains. Okay, we could do both. That'll work. Alright, so we'll call this the Great Sea. I feel like every fantasy thing has a Great Sea, but we'll call it that. So yeah, no, we could do that. We can go down here to the land. Get my paintbrush. Get my green. Go down real small. I don't even think I need the mountains. I think this will work just the way it is. Thanks to Mr. Trocell here, who is well versed in topography and such. There you go. Absolutely, yes. Okay, so we're going to go here. Symbols. This. I had some hills here, but I'm going to replace them with some mountains. Go there. Go here. And Frankie, I don't think you got to see the mountains, the mountain tool in action. So this will be a treat for you. I think Joe was very excited about it, but nope. Right away, I'm not liking those. We need to raise this placement rate, placement density. I think I could just carry that mountain range down. There we go. I can live with that. We'll go in and we'll do a little bit more painting with the green. Yeah, dude. Absolutely. No, I agree. That improved it significantly. That looks a lot less crazy to the eyes. I want to move these cactuses over here, though. They're in my way now. And it placed each one as a separate object. So if you want to pick one out of the crowd and move it after you're done painting, you totally can, by the way. Another selling point, Joe. I know you like those mountains that were able to be moved. Or I mean the random placement, I mean, not the movement. Guys, I think we're looking pretty good here. I feel like I could add more, but I also don't want to inundate it with details, because when you get down to this tiny level here, I mean, there could be a small town over here across the river that you don't need to represent on the map, or you could represent much differently. Oops. Okay. Oh, I want to fix the color on these. These got messed up. Oh yeah, dude. It's only 30 bucks. I got it on Humble Bundle 4 or 5 months ago. I played with it for hours, and then I forgot I even had it, honestly, and just decided to bring it back up the other day, and I forgot how awesome this thing is. It's a very powerful tool. It's so much easier than putting it together in Photoshop. Alright. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, I'm going to fix these mountains down here. Just painting underneath them with the terrain brush, and it just erases the paint on the mountains, because the mountains are, and the trees, they color themselves based on what you have the ground painted as. Okay. I'm going to just do a couple little bit more details here. I want to raise up some land out here. I have like a sandbar out there. Some cool islands out here. I can shrink the cactuses. Yeah, they did. They were at the start of the whole thing. I was just dicking around and putting stuff down. So yeah, I can actually shrink them. That's a good idea. They do look a little bit cartoonish. I can make them smaller than my trees, or about the same size as my trees. Can you imagine walking through a forest of cactus? That'd be pretty crazy. Yeah, these down here, it looks almost like a bad Cartoon Network cartoon or something. There we go. Not to knock the art. I'm just saying it doesn't fit this particular map. There we go. That looks. You're right. That looks a lot less better. Or a lot less better. A lot less awkward. I mean. All right. So we're doing pretty good here. We've got our major regions named. Some outlying ones. This is just one area. Guys, I think we're pretty much done with this map. I think this is more or less an adventurable area. You can kind of tell what that is. I don't know what it would look like printed or anything, but certainly digitally, I mean, this is... You're well on your way to having a decent campaign with something like this. You can have a whole... I don't know, you could do a whole 1 to 20 level campaign in this. I'd make the Black Keep or Dagger Hall be like my last dungeon. Summons up a living tree and just animates a giant cactus in the cactus forest, spines the size of halflings. Yes, dude, and imagine it being like a cactuar from Final Fantasy, and the cactuar like shoots the spines. That'd be cool. Yes, Frankie, you should make a giant cactus monster, dude. Yeah, that would be cool, dude. You should do that. That'd be pretty badass for like a dungeon themed setup or something. I like that. Yeah, man. So yeah, guys, that's it. We made a map in Wonderdraft. That took us a couple hours, and it was a little rough at the start, but I figured out the issue with my streaming, so it looks like we're good to stream now. I don't know. Maybe I could do this again. I want to show you guys how I made the city map. Unfortunately I don't have time today to do that, so I don't want to start something new and then cut it off. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do this again in the future, and I'll show you guys how I used this to do the city map that I made. See if I can bring it up real quick. I can even show it to you real quick so that I can not just, you know, entice you, but I can actually show you. And actually, this gentleman, our friend who's joined us here, Keith, is playing in this game that this image is from. So if I can, is that the one there? Or is it this? There we go. There you go. So you can see the town that I made for that campaign. It's just I cut and paste a cutout image from a city generator over a map that I made using Wonderdraft, and got this wonderful map out of it, which I really love, because now with that scale zoomed in, I can get pretty down to making stuff here. You know, I can get pretty in close. Yeah, so I think I'll do that then. I think for the next time I do a stream, I'll show you guys how I made this map. It's actually a tutorial that I found online, which is pretty easy, but I'll show you guys how I did it. I didn't do it exactly the way they did, but thanks for sticking around, everybody. I hope maybe next time we get more people in here, have a little bit more of a chat going. It's great having you guys come in and participate with me, though, and hitting me up with those ideas. Let's bring our map back up real quick as we sign off for the evening. If I can. Beautiful, man. I like how that came out. Oh, here's the most important thing. Gotta save it. So we'll do an export real quick. We'll do export this image. Oh, you can export height maps and stuff too. Oh, this is crazy that you can use this to do renders and stuff for 3D terrain too, if you have the expertise. I really don't, but so we'll export this. Yeah, we'll export that right to your campaign folder. Why not? Just call it world for now. Excellent. Here's another map that I made. Same region, same campaign. You can see the different styles of stuff that you can make with it. Hey everybody, I'm going to take off. I hope you all have the rest of a wonderful weekend, wonderful week. Oh, that reminds me. Hey, everybody watching, that's right, I was going to do something special today. For those of you that tuned in, leave a comment below on this video when this goes live. When this goes to, on demand, when it goes DVR on the channel, leave a comment. It does look familiar. It's your world. Leave a comment below the video. I'm going to be giving something away on the channel. The red dragon that I painted last week, or the week before, the red dragon in the lair. Leave a comment below to enter, and I'll be giving it away to one winner. And I'll probably announce the winner in next week's video and have it sent out after that. So if you guys want to do that, find this video. I'll probably try to post a link to it on social media just in case. But, come comment on the video. I'd love to be able to restrict it to just you lucky folks who are watching. Unfortunately, due to rules and whatnot, I don't think I can. So as soon as the word gets out, everybody will be coming to leave a comment. But leave a comment below on this video once it goes DVR to enter to win, and I'll choose it randomly. And next time we get together, you will find out who won. And I'll give away that red dragon, that red dragon's lair, and for you guys to add to your collection, all right? So hit me up here, TheDungeonMattster. I'm also on Twitter at TheDungeonMattster. I'm on, Twitter at TDMattster. I'm on Instagram as at TheDungeonMattster, and you guys know about this place to check me out. So thanks everybody for watching. Have a nice week. I'll see you later. Bye for now.